Hey folks, Joe here. Time for another video today, this Sunday afternoon, late March. Excuse me while I have a little drink of coffee. During last week's video, which was about some ideas I have for a series of canoeing expeditions, going over a lot of the old fur trade routes and the routes that exist as they are now, working on a book, multi-year project. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that today, the canoeing. This one is about cycling. I mentioned in last week's video I had another idea for a multi-year series of trips, cycling related. That's what we're going to talk about here today. Canada being the second largest country in the world by land mass, second only to Russia. We have 10 provinces, 3 territories, the Yukon Territory, Northwest Territories, and Nunuvut. Very limited road access in Nunuvut, but maybe I'll create some possibilities up there. 3 oceans, the Arctic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean. What I have in mind, and I thought about trying to bundle it all up into 1 year, one huge trip, as it would be too much to do it justice, so instead, and for the logistics of it all, it would be stretched out over a series of years. Is that a thing? Be stretched out over a number of years. I may edit some of that out, I might not. Who knows? A number of years and linking up various different routes. The idea would be to have as much of the riding done on gravel roads, old logging roads, trail, sections of hike-a-bike. Try and stay off the major highways almost entirely. Stick to back roads. There will be a lot of paved roads, of course, but secondary roads. The more remote I can make this, the better. Crisscrossing every province. As much in the Yukon, Northwest Territories as possible. Dumpster Highway, that would be in there. Probably the Canal Trail, Canal Road, Yukon, Northwest Territories. I talked a little bit about this before, I think. And yeah, so the idea would be crisscrossing every province, a lot of riding in the Yukon, as much as possible as well in the Northwest Territories, and there might be some pack raft stuff in there to link up various remote sections. I'm not quite sure yet. This is in the very early planning stages. I might be able to knock off a couple of short local trips this year. That would be a tiny part of it, but the bigger part would be starting in a year or 2 down the road. Much the same idea as the series of canoeing expeditions I talked about last week. Multi-year project. Take a year or 2 just to get organized and really come up with a plan for what I want to do, and to try and finance it and put it all together. Obviously for this, a long series of YouTube videos over the years would be a huge part of it, and hopefully that would go a long ways towards financing it, making it somewhat pay for itself. Lots of photos, lots of video, all that sort of stuff, talking about the different sections, planning stages, the equipment used. The bike I have right now for touring, my Trek 520 Grando, which I got just over a year and a half ago. That bike is about to undergo some upgrades probably next week. Bought a few parts for it yesterday, and those will be getting installed probably next Saturday, I'm thinking. And changing up the gearing a little bit, getting some serious hill climbing capabilities worked into it. A lot of the places I want to go, it's going to be some steep hills, rough terrain, and it's going to be real hard going. I'll also be carrying a lot of weight. I've always packed heavy for a lot of my trips, like bringing a lot of stuff and going into areas where you can't resupply for several days to weeks at a time, and this will be the same idea. Food dehydrating, this will be part of the trip planning as well. Organizing food drops that I can send to myself along the various routes. And yeah, it's going to be a big project. I've been thinking about it for 23 years, since going across much of Canada back in 2000. That was a 7,000 kilometer solo trip I did. Unfortunately, that was mostly on pavement, a little bit of off-road trails and stuff out in British Columbia, a little bit in Jasper as well, playing around there, and I stayed there for a week. But anyways, this is going to evolve over time. I'll be doing some videos about the planning stages, breaking out some maps and going over some of the individual routes that I have ideas for. And yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. And hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I really need to build up the subscriber base for this YouTube channel. We're We're sitting at less than 2,500 subscribers right now. I would like to get that up to at least 5,000 by the time I really start kicking off these trips. Now, which series of trips am I actually going to do? The big series of canoeing expeditions or the big series of cycling trips all over Canada? I might take on both projects at the same time. Might be putting a couple months into canoe expeditions, taking a break, taking a month or two into cycling trips, putting it all together, and a lot of the video work will be done in the winter time, sort of the off season from the tripping, cycling, all that sort of stuff. It's a work in progress. Either project would be huge and a lot to take on. I think I'm taking on both of them. I love cycling, I love canoeing. I'm going to do both. What do you think of that? Let me know what you think down below, and I'm going to hit the stop button now, pour myself another coffee. Actually, this will keep me going for a little while. Start editing this video, put it all together, get it uploaded onto YouTube. It's probably going to take a couple hours to upload. The connection here is a little slow for uploading, but that's alright. I have lots of time. And I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Next video might be about the upgrades to the Trek 520 Grando. Also got a new down jacket. I want to do a video on that. Picked this up about 4 or 5 days ago. Super sweet jacket. It's going to replace my North Face Denali fleece jacket for future trips. The Denali fleece 300 weight polar tech jacket. Awesome jacket. Love it. Served me well for years. It's big, bulky, and weighs a little bit. This new down jacket I got, which also has a hood. Love it. It's going to replace that. Save some weight, and also compresses down, super small, so that's going to help in the packing, especially for the bike trips. Yeah, I'll do a video on that soon, and that might even come out in 4 or 5 days. Might not wait till next Sunday. Maybe next Sunday will be another one about the bike itself. Anyways, if you're still watching, you're awesome. If you're not still watching, you're probably still awesome, but you just don't know it because you're not hearing this part. So anyways, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's that red button down in the corner. Did you get it? Yeah? Cool. Thanks.